Here is the Crescendo Music Education Podcast, episode number 50. Let's insert a drum roll here. 50. Woo! This podcast is being recorded on the lands of the Turrbal people. I acknowledge them as the traditional owners of the land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. They were the first music makers on this land. And today I am welcoming Mr. Stuart George. Hello, Stuart.
Hello, Debbie. How you doing? Great to be here.
Oh, it's so exciting. So, Stuart from CKP Design, CKP Creative Digital Solutions for Business. So we will talk more about that. But can we just start introducing you and who you are? So to me, you are my computer guy. So, or my website guy. So if ever I'm communicating with someone, Gmail, and I'll say, I'm not really sure. Let me just ask my computer guy. So if you ever get that text, that message from me, I'm talking about this guy I'm talking to right now, Stuart. So Stuart is my web guy, but in a previous incarnation of Stuart, he was one of us, a music educator, which is how I first met Stuart. So first of all, Stuart, just tell us really briefly about your journey to where you are now, about all things tech, really, and include your music education bit.
Absolutely. So I've got a big history with music because my parents met because of music, going way back in the day. And they were both in the musicians union, not to go unionist, I'm not doing anything, but way back in the day, we're talking 60s. This is how everybody seemed to connect. There was no Facebook. There was no what we've got now, what we take a lot for granted. And so my dad reached out for a singer for his big band. My mum applied, and he was absolutely, gobsmacked. And he was the first one to ask her out in the band. So that's why I'm here. I'm here because of music.
That's a nice story.
Really, it all continued on because I became obsessed with music as a young lad as well, and also obsessed with technology. The technology actually came first. And one of the things that triggered everything was my parents went to Singapore on a holiday. And of course, back in the day, there was no, local JB or whatever state or wherever you are in the world. There was a few stores around, but there wasn't the plethora of things and activities that we can get now. And so my parents went to Singapore and they came back with a brand new VCR. And my dad said before he left, should we get something? And I said, oh, look, anything, the latest technology, whatever you can find, it'd be amazing. So they brought me back. And I still have it. The band has since broken. I'm determined to see if I can get this to work. I found this the other day. This is yes, that's what I had. I had a calculator watch. Yes.
Calculator watch. Oh, wow. That's
maybe
very
young
nerdy.
Sheldon.
Very nerdy.
It's massively nerdy.
Yeah.
It certainly is. So that's where it all started. And I did technology training right then and there, opened up the box, set up the VCR, and my dad said, I don't know how to work this. And so rapid fire, I went through, scanned it all through, and then I sat down and gave them a presentation at the age of 10 on how to use this brand new VCR and how to program it. So that's kind of where the technology came from. Lots of things happens in between all that as well. But then the combining music, I'd always seen the connection between technology and music. I'd been a professional musician as well. Started performing in bands at the age of 14, kept getting poached by music teachers who had their own bands in my music school back in Adelaide. And all of a sudden I was doing all of these events. So that's it evolved from there. I then, of course, had the bug well and truly, and became a music educator as well. And I've done instrumental music training at a private school as well. So yeah, like I've been in the thick of it and trying to find the content. I'm a big fan of Debbie's, by the way. Trying to find the content that is sitting there on Crescendo. Oh, I wish I'd known, because back in the day it was always a struggle trying to find things to engage kids. And that's why I'm just such a massive fan of all things Debbie and everything she does. And so we met at, here you go, here's our quick where we met story. When the iPad was first released, what was that, Stone Age somewhere?
Oh, I'd
Way
have to
back.
Google
This would
that,
have
but a
been,
while ago.
was 2010. So
Okay.
in 2010, I was lucky enough to be selected. There was a small group who were able to go through and do a mega course with Apple to become an Apple certified trainer, which is what I am as well. And shortly after that, I worked with a couple of different music shops back in the day. Started off with Billy Hyde when it was only Billy Hyde and not adding all the extra things in. So I was in the high tech department in Billy Hyde for a short time there, and in the music education section as well. So of course I'm meeting with lots of teachers and we're talking technology. I was in my absolute sweet spot doing all of that.
Yeah.
And then I was asked by one of the music stores, it was LOA's actually, and to go through and talk about this new fandangled thing, the iPad. And that was where I met Debbie. So we got talking. She told me all about what she was doing, her mission, and I was just in. I just said, "Oh, look,
Oh.
let's please keep in touch." So we have, and it's just been a fantastic journey seeing Crescendo evolve and change to where you are now. So congratulations, and look, thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you, Stuart. That's lovely. I wasn't expecting that, but that's okay. I will take it and I will just say thank you. Thank you.
Oh, well deserved. Well
But
deserved.
the concept that I'd like all my listeners to hear now is that I'd like to put out a series of shorter episodes. And believe me, I'm not casting nasturtiums on their brain capacity. I'm actually commenting on my own that when you get a little chunk of new knowledge, I like it to be in bite-sized pieces so that you can take it, you can think about it, you can digest it, you can try and apply it. So I thought if I sprinkled through my podcasts these shorter episodes with a focus on technology, with a focus on IT, with one main, I'm going to say focus again. I don't like keeping using, but yes, with one focus, one central idea, with maybe a few subpoints. So they will be shorter episodes, but because they're going to be quite meaty in their nature, here is an idea, here is an app, here is how you can use it, here is a computer program, have you thought of using it this way, those sorts of things. So I have decided I am calling these new episodes It Bits. Okay, so they will be short It Bit episodes. So it's IT, as in information technology, IT, and bit spelt BYT. Okay, so they are It Bits, and Stuart is my It Bit guy. And I thought that we needed to start with an episode like this so that you know where Stuart's coming from and you'll know where I'm coming from and what we're trying to do with these shorter It Bit episodes. And I was also toying, and Stuart, they're not actually scheduled yet, so I can get your input. I was wondering whether I should do a series, do 5 in a row or something, but I'm thinking that sprinkling them at wider intervals might be better because it gives you more time to experiment with them before another one comes along. Do you think that's logical?
I think it's a fantastic idea because in the theme of, bite-sized bits of information, I think that's a great idea. And absolutely, there's so many studies. And of course, Debbie and I have had many conversations about the effects that music, the training, and what we all know, how it helps our minds as well. I think differently because of my music education. I could rave on about my music teachers throughout my high school and extended as well, how much of an influence they've had on me. But what I do know is that, we all think differently. So getting a little bit of this technology in the mix as well is going to make you even better and even more amazing. So that's the whole idea. And if we keep it short, and the learning style, there's a couple of different names for it, but cafe style learning. So it's actually something that you might have over a conversation with a coffee. So I think it's a fantastic idea. And I'm so looking forward to starting the journey with our Byts. Absolutely.
I think that will be, I wish to take that on board. Cafe style learning. Have not heard that. I'm happy to take that one on board. That is wonderful. And I'm just so pleased that I could introduce my Itbit guy. So you're my Itbit guy and my web guy and my computer guy.
Absolutely. Here to help. Absolutely.
As we know, laughter relieves stress. Don't lose sight of the funny side of life. Yesterday, a clown held the door open for me. Oh, it was such a nice gesture. Thank you so much for watching our Crescendo Music Education Podcast. For more information about all things Crescendo, including membership and music education resources, visit us at crescendo.com.au. Don't forget to like and subscribe.